In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to place structural beams in Revit, choosing the right view and beam type. Before you start placing any beams, the very first thing to do is make sure you're in a view that sets you up for success. Beams are easiest to place when you can clearly see the structural layout, so switch to a structural plan or a 3D view. In a structural plan, your grids and columns are front and center, which makes alignment straightforward and reduces guesswork. In 3D, you get spatial context, which can be helpful when you're coordinating with other elements. The key is visibility. If you can see your grids and columns, finding the right span and direction for your beams becomes much more intuitive. With the right view on screen, it's time to activate the beam placement tool. Go to the Structure tab and choose Beam. If you're working from the Architecture tab, you can also find it under Component, then Beam. As soon as you launch this tool, Revit shifts into a placement mode tailored for structural framing, giving you access to the controls and options you need specifically for beams. You'll notice your cursor behavior change to help you snap to the correct lines and references, and your options bar and properties will reflect beam-specific settings. Next, select the type of beam you want to use. Look to the Type selector at the top of the Properties palette and choose from the structural framing families already loaded into your project. Common choices include a steel I-beam for strong, efficient spans in steel structures, a concrete rectangular beam for cast-in-place or precast applications, or a timber beam when you're working in wood construction. As you browse, pay attention to the size designations and profiles, because these affect not just the appearance, but also how the beam relates to supports and clearances in your model. If you're unsure which type fits your design intent, think about the structural system you're documenting and aim for consistency with the columns and overall framing scheme you're using. At this point, you've set the stage properly, you're in a view that reveals the structure, you've activated the beam tool, and you've selected a suitable beam type. From here, placement becomes clear and efficient because your view and tool choices work together. Remember, better visibility and a deliberate type selection prevent rework later and help your beams align with the grids and columns that define your building's structural logic.